What's up, guys? Thomas Mott here. Welcome into the Thomas Mott Show on a Saturday, getting you ready for Eagles versus Packers on Sunday Night Football. A couple of big updates you need on a Saturday, and then we'll look at the Eagles' magic number to clinch their schedule versus the Cowboys' schedule, kind of where, wins need to be had, losses can be had, and how Philadelphia can keep the number one seed. And then we'll finish with, of course, to look at the rest of the Sunday slate of games and what matters for the Eagles or just NFL teams in general. So let's just jump right into the news you need in terms of Philadelphia versus the Green Bay Packers. Big news of the day. Rain. Now, this is something that we don't look at as NFL fans in terms of people that don't live where the stadium is or where the game is being played. I live in Atlanta, currently in Texas right now for a little bit of holiday time with the family. Going back tomorrow, by the way, so the setup will be gone. But rain is going to be big-time factor and a big-time, I'd say, impact on this game on Sunday, as it's going to rain a lot in Philadelphia, starting really Sunday morning and going until late into Sunday afternoon. So let's put on our weather reporter hats now, our weatherman hats, and look at weather.com. Here's your prediction right now for Sunday. It's going to be 58 with rain, saying clouds with periods of rain, high of 58, winds south-southwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour, chance of rain 100%, rainfall near a half of an inch. And so you're going to get a ton of rain in Philadelphia. It's going to completely soak the football field. And so the question now is it going to keep raining during the actual game with an 8:15 p.m. Eastern Time kickoff, or will it be okay? The nighttime says a few clouds, low near 50, winds south-south or west-southwest at 10 to 15 miles an hour. And so everything I've looked at, being the studious weatherman that I am here, is that it's not going to be raining during the game, but it will be very windy during the game, and the field will be very, very wet. Now, you're saying, Thomas, this is a typical NFL game in November, get into late December. Packers are used to it being, bad conditions. They play at Lambeau Field. Why is this a big impact? Well, it's a big impact because Philadelphia is going to have to run the football to win this game. Now, we always talk about Jalen Hurts and A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith, but Philadelphia, their key to winning this game on Sunday is to run it down the Packers' throats, keep the football away from Aaron Rodgers, and play good run defense on the other side of the ball. This is something that's not being talked about at all in terms of local, shows in Philadelphia, blog websites, different reporters. The Packers are a terrible run defense. You go to the ESPN NFL defensive rankings right now, and you go for overall rushing yards per game allowed. You got to go all the way down to the bottom to find the Green Bay Packers right there, right? Texans are the worst, 32nd, 31st, you need to do the math here, 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25th in the league is the Green Bay Packers right now, giving up 131 yards per game on the ground. Now, Philadelphia has jumped up in terms of getting a little bit better, but they're still at 122. They were once a top 10 run defense. They are not a top 10 run defense anymore. However, this is kind of without Linval Joseph and Ndamukong get their first real game together. That's going to be a big-time factor and a really, really good chance for Philadelphia to showcase they fixed their run defensive woes on Sunday against a very good rushing team in the Green Bay Packers. So heavy weather, lots of rain, wet field, turf's going to be a little bit, mixed up a little bit there. Run defense and running offense is going to be very, very important. Now, Philadelphia has always been a successful rushing football team, but it's not necessarily the case over the past couple of weeks just due to the fact that it's been more, you could argue, Jalen Hurts running the football than the rest of these running backs. The 141 yards, like 90 of that against Indy, was Jalen Hurts. They didn't even break 100 yards in the loss to the Washington Commanders. They finally figured things out 3 weeks ago against Houston, but still, these numbers need to be a little bit higher. I would argue in the 150s on Sunday night for Philadelphia to have a comfortable win against the Green Bay Packers. So a lot of things to watch out for in this one. Most people are going to be healthy. I think you need big-time Miles Sanders in this one. Maybe Kenny Gainwell sneaks in a touchdown, get a little bit Boston Scott action, and then sell out to stop the run and make Christian Watson and Marquez Valdez-Scantling beat you on the outside if you are the Eagles defense. Thumbs up for the weather report, by the way. I think of everything here on the Thomas Mott Show for you guys on a Saturday. It's a thumbs up for that. Be sure to subscribe. We're going to get into the Eagles' schedule and the magic number to clinch here in just 1 second. First, though, if you guys feel good about the Eagles, regardless of rain, sleet, or snow, whatever it is, bet on Philadelphia with our friends at DraftKings right now. Bet $5 on the Eagles, get $200 back if they win via my DraftKings link down below in the description box. Just sign up using my TFM link, and then, of course, register and deposit $5+ and put a $5+ moneyline bet on the Eagles to win. If they do, you get $200 back in free bets. That's $200 in addition to your winnings. You want to jump in on this deal? This is it's a solid betting deal, in my opinion. If you're in a legal betting state, DraftKings is a really, really good partner and a really good way to go. Jump in on this deal. It'll be all linked down below. Don't worry about it. Okay, let's have a look quickly at the schedule. And I want to just showcase this just so that way Eagle and Cowboy fans understand what's going to happen over the next couple of weeks and compare the two schedules and show you why Philadelphia needs to win as many games as possible because Dallas is right on their heels. And then we'll get into, of course, the rest of the games coming up on Sunday. So Green Bay, obviously this week, massive game. Then you have these really interesting two right here, Tennessee and New York. Now, Tennessee is a good football team. Now, are they a great football team? Not sure. Ryan Tannehill's still their quarterback. They don't have a really great receiver right now. It's the Derrick Henry show. So obviously Linval Joseph and Ndamukong Suh, Jordan Davis slated to be back in that one. We have big impact if the Eagles win or lose that one. But let's say they win the next two. If they can do that, they set themselves up for a really, 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 really good chance of winning the NFC East through the remaining 5 games. You have the Giants, the Giants, you have the Bears, you have the Cowboys, the Saints, and then the Giants again. If you go 3-2 over the final games, and let's just say one of those losses is New York and one is Dallas, you're going to go ahead and finish with essentially 3 losses and you're going to win the division. Because if you flip over here to Dallas, you have to at least notice 2 things. One, it's a much easier schedule because you have Indy, Houston, and Jacksonville. Those are 3 very winnable games right now for the Dallas Cowboys, including next Sunday night against the Indianapolis Colts. Then they got to play us, they got to play Tennessee, got to play Washington. That's going to be an interesting one. Tennessee on a Thursday, a short week there. But Dallas, if the Eagles go 3-2 over their final 5, and that includes beating the Packers and the Titans, to essentially go ahead and go 5-2 over their final 7, then it's impossible for Dallas to go ahead and win the division, even if they beat Philadelphia head-to-head, because the Dallas Cowboys would already have 3 losses, and then in a head-to-head situation, you guys get my point. And if they were to drop one, then there's the real impossible way that Dallas is unable to go ahead and win the division. And the odds of them winning out here, to me, are very, very slim, and I do not see that being a real factor for the Dallas Cowboys. But the problem is, if Philadelphia were to lose to Green Bay, and then lose to Tennessee, and then start this little 5-game stretch, they would have to essentially win out and make sure they beat the Dallas Cowboys if the Dallas Cowboys are going to win a lot of their games as well. So it gets a little tricky here, but the main focus is, as we get closer and closer to 6 games left, 7 games left, 5, 4, 3, whatever it is, the more you win, the better padding you have against the Dallas Cowboys, because Dallas is hot right now and playing some really, really good football. So we'll keep an eye on this. I want to showcase the 2 schedules side by side. The way you can see that Philadelphia's is much tougher, especially this 3-game stretch right here. If they can pull out 3 straight wins, the division is virtually theirs, and the chance at a 1 seed becomes extremely, extremely likely. All right, let's go through the games here coming up on Sunday to make sure you guys know who to root for, who to root against, whether you're an Eagle fan or not. Obviously, you want to be a Browns fan against the Bucs, although right now it does not really matter. What you really need to kind of think about is if you want the Bucs to win the division or the Falcons to win the NFC South. If you want the Falcons to win, then you root for the Browns, and obviously you root for the Falcons to put the Commanders away on the road there, and what's a very interesting kind of mediocre football team matchup in the NFC on Fox in the 1 o'clock slate. Bengals-Titans is not a big factor from an NFC perspective, but a massive game in the AFC. Now, the Tennessee Titans are going to win their division, but that could be a wild card preview right now because the Bengals are a 5 or a 6 seed in the AFC, and obviously a win would help vault them a lot higher. Texans-Dolphins is not a big factor, although you should root for the Texans if you want the Eagles draft pick to potentially be even higher. The more games the Texans lose, the more they kind of lock up the number 1 overall pick. Philadelphia is probably not going to get it, but you still would root for the Texans to win as many games as possible. Bears-Jets has very little impact on Philadelphia, but no Zach Wilson. He's not even dressing for this game, as he is inactive due to his comments and all the idea of losing the locker room with the Jets there. If they lose that game, the Jets dumpster fire goes wide open because they'd be one of the most dramatic 6-4, 6-5 teams in the NFL because they're really, really good defensively, but choosing to bench a 5-2 starter in terms of Zach Wilson, despite the fact he's acting like a child, is a very tough decision. Broncos-Panthers, you really want to root for the Panthers in this one. Again, it's for the draft pick. You root for these teams ahead of the Saints pick to win, to hopefully the Saints lose, and then the draft pick gets better for Philadelphia. If Hackett loses this game, he's probably gone in Denver. That'd be my hot take of the week. Ravens-Jaguars is a complete non-factor for people in Philadelphia. Same thing goes for Chargers-Cardinals. The Cardinals are all but virtually eliminated. 4-7 basically gets you out of there, especially in the NFC West. The Chargers need this one, though, to stay pace and get back into the playoff picture in the AFC. You want to root for the Raiders against Seattle for 2 reasons. 1, obviously Seattle is an NFC team. And 2, if the Raiders win and the Saints were to lose, the Eagles draft pick gets way better. So you definitely want to go ahead and root for the Raiders in this one. Huge Raider fans at Lumen Field in Seattle in the afternoon. The Rams are all but done. I don't think you're going to see Matthew Stafford do the concussion. You see 15.5-point favorites are the Chiefs. That's a very interesting money line right there. Shows you how confident they are in the Chiefs. This one's tough because the 49ers losing is always a good thing. But when you think about draft picks, you want the Saints to lose this one. So it's a win-win either way. Whether you're a draft pick guy or a playoff guy, you should be a playoff guy first and then a draft pick guy. That is a big one right now in terms of Philadelphia. And then obviously the Sunday Nighter, which we already know. Philadelphia 6.5-point favorites with rain in the forecast, as we mentioned a little bit earlier. Colts and Steelers on Monday night. A very, very boring game, in my opinion. One that you will probably not watch a lot of because it doesn't matter to you in the world of Philadelphia. All right, there you go. There's your look here on a Saturday. I just want to quickly update you guys what's going on in terms of your rooting guide, in terms of the Eagles and Cowboys schedule, and then finally with a little rain in the forecast. Again, weather can change. So maybe Sunday you wake up and it's like, oh, there is no rain in Philadelphia. Well, right now the weatherman says it's going to. So what are you going to do? All right, all the time we have for on a Saturday. We'll be back home in Atlanta in the actual studio, so stay tuned for that. And if you guys want me to do a live stream, let me know down below. I might live stream during Eagles and Packers. We'll see. Out of time. See you guys.